principles. What are the dates in letter of credit? Number one, issuing date. That is the date. That's the date that the LC become available for payment. Issuing date. That's the date that the LC become available for payment. Issuing date. The date that the LC become available for payment. Expiry date. Expiry date. Now, if the LC was tomorrow is July 21. If the LC issue tomorrow, July 21 by 4 p.m. and you receive a document by 4:10, payment is due. Do you understand? Do you understand? When did you issue it? 4 p.m. And document came in what? 4:10. Payment is due. Because the bank incurred undertaking to pay as of the time it issued the. Now the question is, when does the LC be deemed issued? That's the question. It is deemed issued. What's that?
Issued is
Yes.
letter of credit. That is the date it becomes available for payment.
Yes.
The date becomes operating.
The fact that people pay because operative. It's quite operative. That's what I pay for payment. So you are right. But my focus is on payment because the reason for the LC is payment. But it's operative, you are right. Now, so when is LC deemed to be issued? If you issue an LC to Access Bank UK, and you call your guy there, hello, abeg, go that LC, don't advise am yet. Until Access Bank UK advise that LC, the LC is not issued yet. Does it make sense? So that means the LC is deemed issued when it leaves the issuer's control. As long as you have control over it, the LC is not issued yet. Expiry date, that's the date that the LC ceases to exist. Please note, expiry date has nothing to do with payment. It has everything to do with presentation of documents. So that means I can pay on an expired LC. Why? Because when the document was presented, the LC was what? Valid. Latest date of shipment, that is the date on or before which shipment must be made. Latest date of presentation, that is the date on or before which document must be presented. According to UCP at 14, latest date of presentation is what? You know, when you are calling this in LC, qualify it. Qualify it. There's nothing like 21 days. 21 calendar days. 21 calendar. Where's 21 days? Can be 21 banking days. 21 calendar days. Maturity days. Which type of LC do you find maturity day? Deferred payment. Because for site LC, payment is due when? 5 banking days upon presentation of documents. So maturity day, you find it only in the file LC. LC stands on 3 legs. There is a principle of autonomy, there is a principle of strict compliance, and in between you have the principle of bank deal only in what? Document and not in good. What does the principle of autonomy mean? Let's imagine, I wish I can draw it. Let's imagine in an LC. Okay, let me use those of us here. So in this LC, we have issuing bank, importer's bank, exporter's bank, confirming bank. Are we together? Between the importer and exporter, there's an agreement. Agreement number 1. Between the issuing bank, importer and the issuing bank is an agreement. Agreement number 2. If the bank is financing the exporter, there's an agreement. Agreement number what? 3. If this is Citibank, most likely you have relationship with both of them. Agreement number what? 4. Agreement number what? 5. There's an LC that join everybody together. Agreement number what? How many agreements have we counted? 6. Autonomy says, under no circumstances should a default in any of the agreement affect the LC payment. Does it make sense? Under circumstances. That's why yesterday when we were talking about the fact that the guy bring sawdust instead of rice, and he came to me and said you can't pay. He told him that look, that agreement between the importer and the exporter. The LC is an agreement between the issuing bank and the exporter. You cannot say that we will not pay because we receive bad quality goods. Why? Because the agreement, in fact, Article 4 of UCP, which we discussed shortly, Article 4 of UCP says that.
Contract.
I like that. Credit versus people already mastering UCP in this class. Fantastic.
I was about to tell you to hold, and I want to ask them.
Okay, you bring up the article. Fantastic. No.
That's why I didn't have
Fantastic. I like that. Because it's sad that you are using LC and you don't know the rule. I mean, sometimes, some people are on LC there for 3 years, they've not seen UCP before. I take a lot of class.
This ones, they have the copy.
You know why? How on earth do you, this is the rule guiding this transaction, right? And then you are issuing LC. That means anything you are doing is based on what they told you. They said, I should do this way. You can't use your brain because the only thing you do is, I can't know this is the way they told me to do it. Because you don't even know the reason why you are doing it. So Article 4, credit versus contract, which clearly states that you should not allow anything outside the LC to affect the performance of the LC. Why? If that begins to happen, LC will become useless. People will give all sorts of reasons why you should not pay. That's why even the court of law are careful in stopping payment on an LC. Why? Because of the principle. Because if you keep stopping, then the instrument is useless. Everybody can get a court injunction and just stop payment. Why? Because they are claiming that the guy is cheap rubbish. But the issue is that in LC, it gives you opportunity to prevent that from happening. So why didn't you stop it? If you have not explored the opportunity to stop it, then you can't really blame anybody for what you are supposed to have done and you refuse to do. Autonomy now. Strict compliance. You must cross your T's and dot your I's. You must cross your T's and dot your I's. You must cross your T's and dot your I's. If the LC says you should ship January 31st and you ship on February 4th, it is called discrepancy. Why is it discrepant? Because UCP says an LC is compliant when the document presented complies with the term of the LC, first level of compliance. Second level of compliance, comply with the term of UCP, third level of compliance. Comply with what? International standard banking practice. Have you seen that one? Fantastic. So the beauty of ISBP is that it expatiates UCP, particularly Article 18 to 25, expatiating. Why? Because all the issue around document, such that in UCP, you won't find in UCP that if I receive an LC, if I receive a document, and I see a draft, if the draft, look at this, and the draft says maturity 30 days from bill of lading date, and there's nowhere on that draft you will find the bill of lading date, but the bill of lading date is the bill of lading presented. Is there anything wrong with that? Yes, something is wrong. That draft is discrepant. Because the draft should not need any other document to determine the maturity. So he will say 30 days for bill of lading date, and somewhere on the draft he will put bill of lading date, January 5. If he doesn't do that, that draft is discrepant. Because the draft, that draft is given to you. You can sell it to her. She can sell it to her. You can sell, why? Because it's an instrument that can be transferred. So that means you are the one that you have the bill of lading. He doesn't have. So how do you sell it if she needs to get the bill of lading from you? So the draft should have all the information on it such that you don't need any other person to tell you when your payment is due. Because you bought the draft now and you bought it at a discount. So payment is due in future. Why should I require you to tell me when it's due? I should be able to see it on the draft itself. If I'm unable to do that, it's different. But you won't find that in UCP, but you find that in ISBP. Also, before ISBP was revised, after UCP 600 in 2007, before ISBP came in the first one, 681. If I receive a document and it says A ABC Limited, that's the issuing bank, say ABC Limited, ABC Limited, and the document consigning say ABC Ltd. ABC Ltd. LTD is an abbreviation for limited, right? People can raise discrepancy. But IDP says you are not supposed to raise discrepancy on obvious, commonly used abbreviations like kg, kilogram, MT, metric ton, water, H2O, LTD, limited. As in common abbreviation. They're not supposed to raise discrepancy on it. Now, but some people will raise it because of what? Street compliance. But let me tell you what street compliance is fixing. When you issue an LC, and on the LC you stated that quality and quantity inspection report. Quality and quantity inspection report, if that's what you state on the LC and you're financing, you can receive a bad quality goods and there will be a quality report. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
You will receive a bad quality good and there will be an inspection report. So, if I say quality and quantity inspection, and then when the document was presented, I had a quality and quantity inspection. But the buyer on this pro forma invoice is bringing in tiles. The tiles color black, tile ceramic, dimension 30 by 30 cm, thickness 5 mm. That's the specification of who? The importer on the contract, on the pro forma invoice. But because when you were issuing the LC, you just said quality and quantity report. The guy shipped a tag. The tag is number 1, color white. Number 2, dimension 10 by 10. Thickness 2 mm. And the quality report and the quality report will be presented, and guess what? You cannot reject it. Why can't you reject it? You did not state in your LC the quality and quantity parameter that should be on the report. So the strict compliance is to ensure that if you stated that quality and quantity parameters on the LC, when the document comes, it must match. Am I making sense?
Yes.
That's what compliance is supposed to do. But sometimes we stretch it beyond, and even the good that we ship, just one day, we'll do it. If you are correct, because one day is a lot of time. What's the name? LTD Limited. You also raise it. And that's why Article 16 allows for waiving of discrepancies. So the customer can say, no, this minor, this I can deal with this, it's okay. And you can only do that to the extent that it is not what? It's not regulatory. You need CBL for you to be able to waive regulation. I mean, it's regulatory in point. But you can see why strict compliance can protect an importer. Because the bank is supposed to cross the T's and dot the I's. Then bank dealing documents are not in goods. Bank dealing documents are not in goods. These are very important parameters, and you'll find autonomy in Article 4, you'll find bank dealing document in Article 5, you'll find strict compliance in Article what? Anybody? 14, standard for examination of document. If there is one article you must master word for word, it's Article 14. It basically summarizes what inspection is standard for examination of document.